Anika, glad to have you. I think
Thank
we can disconnect Shevry. There we are. Okay. All right. I tell you, there's many ways to manage these technical problems. We think they're the answer and they end up being the disaster. But welcome to Win TV. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for supporting us through all of these years. It's been 9 years, and the Washington Informer was one of the first, if not the first publication that ever documented and talked about Nubian humans. So it's an honor to be here again with you.
Oh, my pleasure. And I'm going to have to connect you to some of my, if you haven't met them already, our fellow publishers over there in Baltimore,
Yes.
the Baltimore Afro and
Yes.
the Baltimore Times. And I just read that another new digital, Black owned digital program has a digital news organization was established over there. I just read about her the other day.
Yes.
So how's it going? I know it's been a transition for you. I mean, I want to know really emotionally, how did that impact you to have to close your DC store?
The word that I've been using is bittersweet. It's been an emotional roller coaster. First things first, I do have to say, gratitude is something that I've definitely felt. Just from the texts, the emails, the DMs, and all sorts of ways that folks get in contact with us. Coming to the stores during the last months or so. It's definitely been a lot of gratitude, and just thankful for that. Of course, my background is in brick and mortar, so I'm very much a store person. So having to close down that location was pretty difficult, very very emotional for me. That's where we started, and I love Ward 8. I love DC. So it was bittersweet.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, what was it? COVID related? Was it? I mean, the pandemic, just the impact of just not enough foot traffic.
Yeah, it was all those things. It was
Okay.
definitely the pandemic changed the shopping pattern of our customers. Folks aren't really, they are coming into stores, but they're shopping differently. Online is definitely taking over that, taking over the retail market. A lot of folks came to us because they loved being able to connect with community. That's what we're really about, is community. It's not just retail. This is an ecosystem, a global ecosystem, if you will. So COVID definitely, had impact on our supply chain. So about 50% of our inventory was from the continent or the diaspora outside of the United States. And that definitely hurt a lot of our smaller businesses. They weren't producing anymore, or they weren't able to produce as much or as often. Shipping was also an issue, inflation. And then just on a micro level, it was, the space that we were in just didn't have the traffic anymore. So
Mhm.
for us also, I was in the process of purchasing the building. And then once the pathway to ownership was no longer there, it really felt like it was time to move on to the next.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I mean, that was a lesson learned a long time ago. I think, especially in DC, along the 8th Street corridor and other places where we found, once there was this re-emergence of retail and business and everything in the district, a lot of the businesses didn't own their buildings. And consequently, when the owners decided that they wanted to increase those rents because they could, a lot of our businesses ended up being displaced, not by choice. At least you were in a position to make a choice.
Right.
Many of them were forced to close, and that's the sad thing about that. And so, I mean, I'm sure there are lessons learned with your experience. What do you think, as it relates to the challenges of Black-owned businesses? What would you put on if you could list them, like the top three that business owners should really consider in this new um, way in which consumers interact with us?
Right. I would say number one is paying attention to your consumer. That is number one. What are their new habits? Whether it's taking your service, or coming into your space, whatever it is, however they interact with you. What are those new ways that they're looking for? For us, we knew that there was a change, and so we did, in the middle of last year, we did surveys and we did focus groups, just talking to our audience. who Nubian Human was in 2013 when we opened our doors is completely different in 2022.
Mm.
So it was really important that we hear from our customers. So we took that year's time to really understand, what are they most attracted to? What is it that takes them to get out of their homes? What are they most interested in shopping and hearing from us? And so I think that's extremely important when you are in small business. If you are working directly, if you're doing direct to customer, you have a great opportunity to hear from them and pivot your business towards them. The second thing I would say is technology. This is the way of the world right now. Technology actually makes the world pretty small. So, if there's any way that you can bring technology into your business, whether it's through your POS system, your email, SMS, your marketing, your anything that you do, your inventory, anything that can streamline your business, I think is something that's really important going forward. It's here, it's the way that we're working now. So making that pivot into really integrating technology into your business is something that's really important. And I would say the last thing is, have multiple streams of income. That's something that's so like, we were lucky that we were doing that before the pandemic. But we had to really turn to not just events and retail, but what are some of the services that some of our clients and customers were looking for. So for example, we do have retail stores, we're online, we're in brick and mortar. We also did plenty of events like the Black Love Experience, which is our largest event, but we would do a series of smaller regular events like poetry events. But then also with that, we picked up doing like curating for other people's events for them. So those who
Mm.
didn't want it, who wanted a vendor market, obviously we have an extensive list of vendors because of what we do. How can we take what we do and bring that into their business? We also started doing interior design. Folks would come into the store and always say, "Oh my goodness, I want my home to look like this." It just so happens I have a degree in interior architecture. My career is in visual merchandising, so I have a really great team that does it in interior design work. So we started doing folks' homes. So we had a few clients last year, so that brought in some revenue for us. So I would say always look at your business, not to make a bunch of other businesses, but look at your business and see how you can bring in revenue in different ways.
That's amazing. I mean, I think all of that is great advice. Even here at the Informer, we've done a couple things, but we've had to pivot as
Right.
well. And I think it creates more value. And that's what I would think for Nubian Human now. It's not just a store you go and buy a product, but there's a store that has services that you can offer to your consumers. Tell us about the Baltimore location, though. I haven't been there, so how is that going?
Yes, so that we opened in 2019 on 211 West Reed Street in Baltimore. It's been amazing. I think, community, it's the same thing as Southeast DC, where community is really important. My team there are just amazing folks who are integrated into the city either through Morgan or they're from Baltimore. So it's been really great to be there. Definitely a different consumer than what we're used to. But Black folks aren't a silo, so it's really great to expand and be in that space.
And as far as being able to continue your relationships with some of your vendors around the country, around the world, Africa and other places, has that gotten any better?
I would say yes and no. We've definitely been able to connect with new artists. So those artists also that have, been able to weather through the pandemic, we've gotten a lot closer. So for example, we had Urban Zulu, which we had a partnership with, which is based in Johannesburg. So Poppy, the owner, has been able to come a couple times to the US, and we've been able to do launches, and we did Afro Punk together. So yeah, I think that there's been some ups and downs with it. There's been some tremendous losses of some brands that are amazing and unique, but there's been a lot of brands that have been able to kind of rise and push through as well.
Hmm. So what's new for Nubian Human? What are some of your next steps? Because you've got a lot going, and I can't imagine you've got more on the horizon. But then knowing you, you probably do.
Yeah, yes. I never really sit very still, but So we're excited because last year, I think it was right before the holidays, we launched our membership program. So we were able to take all of that data and insights that we had gotten, just knowing what our customers love and buy, also from those focus groups and surveys that we were able to do. We also traveled a lot of the country last year as well. So we did events in Chicago, New York, Philadelphia. So we were kind of all over the place, just gathering. And so we started a membership program, which you can start with just as little as $25, and it goes up depending on what you decide. But you get free shipping, which, if you know anything right now, shipping is increasing. So it's definitely
Yes.
a perk to get that. But you get free shipping, your customer service, discounts on your shopping every time you shop. We also offer a box. It's a Nubian Human box. So it's an experience box. So you may get products and a cooking lesson, or, something that's just more than just getting products in the mail. But everything is Black owned, which is what we do. Black or brown owned, but all of our boxes have been Black owned products. So you'll get that every single month, something that you can experience or something that you can share with friends, share with family as well. We're also launching our app in February. So for Black History Month, we will be launching a Nubian Human app that's available at the Google Play Store and in Apple Store as well, the App Store. And we're working on bringing community into that. So it's not just a shopping experience, but it's also what Nubian Human is known for, which is exploring and learning new artists and connecting. So we're actually working on that now, which is really exciting, but it will be launching in February. And
You
then,
know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, of course, we're still working on expanding in the district. DC is our home. DC is where, just we have so much opportunity there, so much support there. So we are working on another space as well.
Wonderful. Well, one of the things that I just thought about, I don't know if this is already the case, but you have we're getting ready to go into the wedding season. I know a young couple who just bought their first home, and the husband is really, really focused on making sure that he has sort of a Black art and Afrocentric environment for even his space, his manhole, right? That's what I understand. And so, it sounds like, a gift certificate to Nubian Human would make a good gift. I don't know what you may offer or will be offering for those newlyweds or those new homeowners, but I'm certainly going to go search the site and see what I can find that may fit within what this couple wants. But it sounds like, are you offering anything like that?
Yes, we've always offered gift certificates and gift cards and things like that. So those are definitely there. We also have rotating art. So we had Noelle RX, who is Candice Tavares. We had her exhibit up for the year. So the last few months of the year. So, coming to Nubian Human is always an exploration. So we definitely are doing that, and we will continue to do that as well.
Oh, wonderful. So anybody out there, some young folks, or not young folks, we're going to do a story on a couple we understand in Baltimore, 93 and 94 years old. They got married a month ago.
Oh.
But so I don't mean necessarily young people, but marriages, weddings, folks buying their first homes, all of that. It's a good way to introduce them to, I think, the brand. And so hopefully that is another road to success for you. I really appreciate you coming on and talking really candidly about some of the challenges that you've had, but also the creative ways you've addressed them. So it's good. We don't get to talk about that all the time with our smaller businesses that become really big online, right?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. All of your support. Even when you come to the store, it's like a big deal. It's so exciting.
Well, I'm gonna make my way to Baltimore. I want to see what you gave them that we didn't get.
No. Please do.
I know you're coming back. All right, Anika, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
All right.
Good luck. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same.